The first day at Korea National University of the Arts was in many ways the first day of the rest of my life. There I stood at the heart of the university, pulsating with youthful energy, wide-eyed at the enormous facade of the arts building, a sight that I had only dreamt of. The air was thick with anticipation. The general hum of chatter and the distant rhythm of drums merged into an inviting symphony. A warm welcome to my new life. Along my first steps into the sprawling university, I could sense the snippet of my passion for art and performance being reignited in full force, fueling the deep-seated desire within me to embrace this new chapter. Nerves had me wound up tight as I walked into my first contemporary dance class, the unfamiliarity and dread of the new challenging environment pushing me to question if I was getting ahead of myself. Every gaze that lingered and every whisper that floated my way would make my heart race. This was me, miles away from the comforting familiarity of Lion, on the cusp of my metamorphosis into a budding artist, bracing myself for the rigorous grind of dance training. Yet, in the clamor and cacophony of foreign resonances, in the stark strangeness that threatened to engulf me, there lay an inexplicable exhilaration. I was a neophyte in this electric and dynamic realm, but I was also filled with a relentless fervor to learn and grow, to reach out and grasp the infinite opportunities presented to me. Despite the waves of nervous energy, the notion of presenting myself on the dance floor felt almost liberating. The moment I stepped onto the dance floor, feeling the cool wooden floor against my bare feet, the resonance of the music, the hustle of fellow dancers, I knew I was home. The exhaustion of the day cloaked in the myriad hues of emotions fell away as the rhythm of the music infiltrated my spirit. The butterflies in my stomach morphed into fierce, soaring falcons, eager to take flight. That first day was filled with challenge and triumph, anticipation and ecstasy. It was the day I truly understood what it meant to step out of my comfort zone and immerse into an environment that radiated sheer passion, talent, and dedication. The apprehension of the unknown was converted into colossal aspirations and dreams, now more tangible than ever. It was overwhelming but also enlightening, the beginning of the transformation into an artist I was meant to be. I was embarking on what would be one of the most challenging yet fulfilling journeys of my existence. Just as I was marinating in the foreignness of my new world, a glimmer of familiarity sprouted as I found myself crossing paths with Jin-ho. The universe conspired our meeting, a fellow freshman at the university, and our connection was instant from our shared fascination with the arts to the experiences of being uprooted from familiar surroundings and planted into this realm of creativity and self-discovery. Jin-ho's easy banter made me feel less like a stranger, the sound of his laughter resonating like a lullaby in my distressed heart. The comfort of befriending someone who was just as wide-eyed and new to this world as I was. It was the barrier breaker I didn't know I needed. We spent countless hours traversing through the streets of Seoul, treading on landmarks after landmarks until our feet refused to take another step. The city became less intimidating, morphing into a familiar haven, mirroring my metamorphoses along the way. Our shared experiences, late-night ramblings emboldened me, making the world around me less itchy with the unfamiliar. The presence of a companion who was navigating through the same uncertainty. The trepidation diminished, replaced by a growing fondness for Jin-ho and the comfort we found in each other during our shared journey. Soon, our connection deepened, pulling at the strings of my heart that hummed a melody I had never heard before. Our innocent friendship slowly unfolded, layer by layer, blossoming into a romance that neither one of us could fully understand or fathom. It was our first real relationship, the love that was innocent and unblemished, unmarred by heartbreaks and experiences. With every stolen glance, every shared laughter, every whispered secret, I was falling. Falling for Jin-ho, falling for Seoul, but most importantly, falling for the woman I was gradually morphing into. Our first date was like a painting coming alive, the backdrop of a quaint rooftop cafe, the city skyline in the backdrop adorned by twinkling stars, and the quiet serenity enveloping us. There was an uncertain yet heartwarming spark in our conversations, a shared understanding that fluctuated between the lines of friendship and something more. It was a moment etched in my memory, forever preserved as the first stroke of romance in the canvas of my life in Seoul. Jin-ho's comforting presence, the rooftop cafe, the twinkling stars, and our laughter floating in the night sky, all encapsulated the turning point, highlighting the beauty of finding love in the most unexpected places. As the first sigh of winter descended on Seoul, I embarked on a journey of cultural exploration, spinning the wheel of long-standing traditions and engaging in the vibrancy of Korean customs. My first Christmas away from home sparked emotions of longing. The tranquil French Christmas nights were replaced by the bustling streets of Seoul adorned with bright lights and relentless cheer. Yet, I embraced this new landscape, aware that change was the price I paid for breaking out of my comfort zone. Jin-ho, my confidant, made the transition bearable. His comforting presence and shared excitement as we navigated our first Korean festive season together eased the sting of homesickness. Despite longing for the familiar warmth of the Yule log fire and the intoxicating smell of freshly baked bûche de Noël, I found solace in the unique festivities Seoul had to offer. We wandered through the local Christmas markets, the smell of spicy Korean fried chicken replacing the homely aroma of Christmas goose. We peered at high-rise buildings lavishly decorated with sparkling lights, quite a spectacle compared to the simple, rustic glow of my family's Christmas tree back home. Navigating through the festive streets of Seoul, I felt a bond with the city, a sense of home away from home. Come Valentine's Day, I discovered a new side of Korea, a country where love took center stage, turning the calendar page to a vibrant romantic saga. Jin-ho and I navigated our way to Namsan Tower, one of Seoul's most romantic spots. The echoing whispers of the Korean breeze assaulted my senses, intertwining with the amorous vibes hanging in the air. On this day, we took part in a tradition I'd only ever dreamed of. We carved our initials on a love lock and attached it to the endless sea of other locks, intertwining our love with the stories of countless others who had made the same journey. The aluminum lock, etched with our initials, symbolized our bond, a remnant of our adventure in the city of Seoul. Growing up in Lyon, I had often envisioned myself as the young ballerina pirouetting on the grand stage, her every move synonymous with grace and harmony. This dream transformed into reality when I performed for the first time at the university event. The spotlight didn't just illuminate the stage, it shed light on my journey. The stage beneath my feet vibrated with power, making my heart echo the rhythm. The thrill of the performance provided a tacit affirmation of my chosen path. I felt both vulnerable and empowered, a paradox that was becoming my lived reality. By the time the final beats of my performance had faded away into the hushed whispers of the audience, I knew I was a step closer to my dream. Deeper into the winter, the shifting emotional landscape of my heart was mirrored in my blossoming relationship with Jin-ho. In the chill of February, as Seoul was cloaked in the romantic haze of Valentine's Day, Jin-ho and I added a new page to our Seoul saga. In the heart of the city, thrumming with lights, we made our way to the Namsan Tower, a symbol of eternal love for myriads of couples who journeyed here before us. As we rode the cable car, soaring over the tree-sprinkled Namsan Mountain, my heart pounded with a mix of nervous excitement and budding romance. The tradition of attaching a lock on the Namsan Tower as a promise of everlasting love was one I had heard of, and to partake in this ritual felt surreal. I recall the cold metal lock in my hand, our initials CM plus JH etched neatly onto it, reflecting our shared hopes and dreams. The sea of love locks, each with a different story, a different promise, humbled me, connecting us with countless others who had stood here, pouring their hopes and dreams into the tiny pieces of metal. As we secured our lock among the countless others, I felt a rush of warmth coursing through me, a sense of belonging. Standing there, overlooking the glittering cityscape of Seoul, I was struck by how far I'd come. The girl from Lyon who dreamt of stardom was now in Seoul, falling in love, living her dream one day at a time. Each day was a new experience, a new memory. Each moment, however joyous or challenging, was shaping me, preparing me for the arduous road that lay ahead. In this beautiful blend of love, passion, and dreams, I was discovering a new self, exploring an uncharted territory of personal growth. In those moments, I was not just a student or an aspiring artist. I was Chloé, a young woman navigating the labyrinth of life in the rhythm of her beating heart. As the soft snowflakes sprinkle Seoul, adding festive touches to the cityscape, a sense of nostalgia sweeps over me, finding reflections of my holidays spent under Lyon's winter canopy. The twinkling Christmas lights stitched across every corner, the scent of freshly baked bûche de Noël seeping into the frosty air, the merriment of réveillon ringing through the streets. Each memory tugs at my heartstrings, yearning for a familiar warmth. Yet I find myself miles away, in a city that's still so new to me, craving the familiar traditions and the affectionate arms of my family. Marking my first Christmas in Seoul, I immerse myself in the new experiences that the city has to offer, though somewhere in the corner of my heart wished for the comfort of my home. The rich aroma of Korean sweet potatoes roasting on street stalls, the joyous carols lifting the spirits of bustling passers-by, the cheerful greetings of Seongtanjol Chukahayo filling the wintry air, each tradition introduces me to an undiscovered shade of Christmas. Although the celebration carries a different rhythm as compared to Lyon, it possesses the same tenderness and joy, guiding me gently through a passage of newfound traditions. As Jin-ho and our group of comrades surround me with their affection, I feel less adrift. Their laughter and warmth become my lighthouse in the sea of new experiences. As we gather around the heater, indulging in bowls of bingsu instead of my traditional bûche de Noël, cracking jokes, singing Christmas carols off-key, the foreign land starts feeling a bit more like home. The festive season turns into a beautiful palette of my old memories blending seamlessly with these new experiences. Even though my heart aches a little, missing the familiar faces around Christmas time back home, the new friendship, camaraderie, and warmth here in Seoul provide me a different kind of comfort. As I wrap myself tighter in the blanket thinking about my first Christmas away from home, I'm reminded once again of my strength, resilience, and the journey that led me here to my dream, to Seoul. It's just the beginning, and every moment is another stitch in the interweaving tapestry of my life. Another beautiful memory adding to my personal canvas, painting a picture of a life led courageously. And in this moment, enveloped in this city's embrace, I am home. February arrived with a whisper of love in the air, whispering sweet nothings into Seoul's wintry heart as couples strolled arm in arm down the Namsan Tower paths. It reminded me of St. Valentine's Day back in France, where young lovers would exchange tender promises etched in letters and gifts. Yet here in Seoul, it was somewhat different. The sweet custom of jegichagi intrigued me, the boys anxiously sharing bags of candies with us girls, their faces flushing in the sharp winter air. Jin-ho took me to Namsan Tower that day, which was lit up like a beacon of love among love-struck couples. He fished out a small metal lock and a marker from his pocket. With rosy cheeks and a sheepish grin, he explained the tradition. Couples would carve their initials onto these locks and fasten them onto the railings of Namsan Tower, promising eternal love. This sudden revelation left me surprised, yet a heartfelt warmth spread through me. I found Jin-ho's shy manner endearing to say the least. Joining in the tradition, I gently penned our initials onto the lock with all the earnestness of a maiden in love. Once our tiny altar of love was secured among the sea of other locks, we threw the key into the distance, a symbolic act of our commitment to each other. The moment was delicate, palpable, almost sacred, and I felt an innocent joy resonating in my chest. Looking at Jin-ho, I saw a new side of him, a romance that was pure and beautiful. As we stood there, amid 1,000 promises locked in place, I felt a peculiar blend of emotions washing over me. The twinkling Seoul cityscape below seemed to sway in unity with my beating heart. It was another realization, a sweet memory stitched onto my evolving soul diary. It reminded me that while some traditions back home were being missed, new ones were being embraced with open arms. Love, after all, was universal, transcending barriers and borderlines, whispered through letters in Lyon or locked in at Namsan Tower. This symbol of our burgeoning romance now swayed with the breeze high above Seoul, a testament to our young love. March had me taking a leap, quite literally. Finding myself under the spotlight of our university auditorium, I delicately stood on the tips of my toes, the echo of hushed whispers from the captivated audience a mere background to the pounding rhythm of my heartbeat. I was dancing on stage for the first time at a university event. The anticipation turned into apprehension as the music started. It was Spring Day by BTS, a song close to my heart. I had barely crossed the threshold, and it was familiar yet daunting, a pure leap of faith into the realm of public performance. The melody and lyrics in Korean danced mystically in the air, leaving a profound cultural imprint on my heart. Maybe it was the song, or maybe the adrenaline coursing through my veins, but I felt a surge of audacity. Conquering the stage, I found myself intertwined in a beautiful dance with my South Korean destiny. It was a liberating experience, one that spurred a whirlwind of emotions within me. A rush of adrenaline and butterflies marked the start. Then came the gratifying accomplishment. Every second, every step that resonated with the rhythm, further increasing my confidence, taking away the initial nerves. Yet an undercurrent of vulnerability persisted, seeping through the wider aura of empowerment. An artist's soul bared for the world to gaze upon. It was strangely invigorating and nerve-wracking at the same time. I poured everything I had into my performance, echoing the lyrics of loss and longing with movements that spoke volumes. Every jump, every spin became a testament to my unspoken journey of transformation, my dedication towards my dance. As I held my finishing pose, bathed in the spotlight, the deafening silence rippled around the auditorium. A ceasefire before the thunderous appreciation crashed upon me in cascades of applause. Their applause confirmed what my heart had already known. I was capable of dazzling, capable of breathing life into my dream. Looking back, dancing was more than an art form for me. It was an emotion painted in the rhythm of music, a testimony of my perseverance, of my passion. It was a piece of my heart undeniably imprinted in the blend of French-Korean culture that made me who I am today. This first performance, steeped in a blurring blend of fear and frenzy, etched itself deep within me. An emblem of my journey, and the emblem of an exuberant chapter in my life in Seoul, which was yet to unfold in all its melodious glory.